Atomic Monsoon.
Welcome to the Monsoon.
Hey everybody, this is Josh, and welcome to this week's episode of Atomic Monsoon.
Woo! What's up, guys? I'm Stephanie. We're back.
And I am Kylo Ren and Stimpy.
Nice.
Love it.
I like that
Now
one.
I'm imagining them in the Kylo Ren costume.
Of course, yeah.
With the lightsaber and everything.
Yeah.
But which one would be?
One is the lightsaber, one is Kylo.
Okay, so Stimpy is Kylo, and then Ren is the lightsaber?
Or the other way, I don't care.
I thought they would just both be in the costume and then they both try to hold up the lightsaber.
I really think we're going too far into this.
Yes, anyway. So...
Are you nerd shaming us for...
No, I just don't like Star Wars as much as you guys.
I mean...
Or maybe Ren and Stimpy either.
I mean, after all the John Cristofalusi stuff that's come out.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
So,
All
hey,
right.
what's been happening in this world? I feel like not much.
Actually, it's been a fairly eventful week, depending on the circles that you look in. But
Fair enough.
I see you got a couple things here. What's going on, Andy?
I got a couple
start
quick
this off.
things. Yeah. So IDW has announced that they're going to be doing a $60 hardcover of their Star Trek The Next Generation comics.
Oh, nice.
They're going to collect all the Next Gen stuff that they've done. So The Space Between, Intelligence Gathering, The Last Generation, Ghosts, and Hive. So all 6 of those stories in one 568-page hardcover for $59.99. That'll be coming out.
That's actually not a bad price point for that.
No.
Yeah.
That entire collection.
$60 for 568 pages.
I
Like
think
that's
you'd probably be hard pressed to get each individual issue for that. That cheap.
It would probably come out to around the same
Yeah.
cost if you could get them at cover price.
Yeah.
Which you're not going
No,
to at
you're
this
not
point
going
because some of
to.
those are already a decade old.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know that I'm going to pick it up because I'm not a huge Star Trek comic guy, but I thought like this is a really cool collected edition,
Yeah.
and I feel like Star Trek fans that either haven't read the comics or are looking for somewhere to start or
Yeah.
just
and there's some next gen
know.
nostalgia going on with the Picard show and everything.
Absolutely.
Getting ready to start getting picked up, and so
so that was coming up, and that seemed pretty cool. So hey, hit your local comic store and ask them about the IDW Star Trek Next Generation: The Missions Continue hardcover.
Yeah, that's cool.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah. The only other thing this week, I did want to say we forgot to last week thank our friends at Def M Records for our awesome intro music.
Oh, okay.
I told them I was going to do that every episode, and I totally spaced on it last week, and I'm so sorry, guys. So, hey, once again, if you like our theme song, if you like cool lo-fi indie rock and roll, check out defmrecords.com. Please go check them out. Give them
A
our
couple minutes of
support.
your time, you find some good music.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, the only other thing that I found this week that really piqued my interest, I know you got a couple of things on your list that I was going to talk about, but you beat me to it. The Bloodshot movie is going to be happening. It's in pre-production right now, I want to say. But Vin Diesel is going to be starring as Bloodshot.
I was going to ask. Last time I heard anything about that, it was attached to Vin Diesel. So.
Yeah. The Bat and the Sun did that Ninjak versus the Valiant Universe thing on, I want to say, YouTube last year. And Jason David Frank, the former Green Power Ranger, played Bloodshot in that. But this is going to be a full movie starring Vin Diesel as Bloodshot. And for anyone who isn't familiar with Bloodshot, I copied and pasted the synopsis of the movie here.
Okay.
So Bloodshot follows Ray Garrison, a.k.a. Bloodshot, a deceased soldier resurrected by weapons contractor Rising Spirit Technologies through the use of nanotech. Suffering from total memory loss but imbued with an array of staggering new abilities, Ray struggles to reconnect with who he was while learning what sort of weapon he has become, aided by a team of fellow augmented combatants codenamed Chainsaw. So basically, it's the Punisher in the Weapon X program.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Or the comic book version of Hardcore Henry, if you have seen that movie.
Oh, that movie's so good.
Okay, I have not seen that movie, but yeah. Big pale dude with guns with a big red spot on his chest, a bloodshot spot.
No, good comics. I used to like him a lot. The 90s. I haven't read him in since the 90s, but
Okay, yeah. I've got a couple of the more modern trades and stuff. So actually on groupies.com right now, they just announced a new Valiant bundle. So if you're interested in Bloodshot or other characters in the Valiant universe, you can seriously go pick up like half the trades they've put out for like $20.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
They're digital comics, but hey, $20
still,
for like $700 worth of shit, like. Why not?
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
especially if you are into reading comics. I mean, it definitely give you plenty to read for that price
Plus,
point.
it's Friday and it's payday for probably at least half of our listeners.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
right.
I might
There
go
we
do
go.
that tonight, actually.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Hey, what did you guys find this week?
So I got a couple things. So So Jon Favreau posted some more stuff from the Solo set. Solo set. Wow.
You meant
the Mandalorian set. When I was watching the video, they were also talking about Solo and his character Rio. So it just kind of like blended.
Also, it's been a really long week here.
It has been a really long week, guys. You don't have any idea. And if you do, I'm sorry as well. But no, it was released for a couple of photos. One looked like an ice cream maker. Canister.
What?
It was a canister thing. Don't know quite what it's for yet, but it looks like an old ice cream maker with some Star Wars buttons on it.
All right.
Okay.
So there's that.
Sure.
The next thing was the weapon that Boba Fett has in the holiday special.
Yeah.
Is what's strapped to the Mandalorian's back in the photo.
Ooh.
They've confirmed like a full shot is that weapon.
Huh.
So we're going to see that in live action.
That's a pretty obscure pull, even for Star Wars nerds.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So,
Well, considering most people that like Star Wars try to forget the holiday special as much as possible.
Yeah.
Which by the way, I sat down and I watched Resistance.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It is really good. I will say, out of everything animated Star Wars, it is definitely a little more on the campier side.
Okay.
But they said that this is mainly intended for a younger audience, in the sense of it's not going to be like Clone Wars where it started off campy and then it got more serious because it's a war. And same with Rebels. This one's like, we're going to kind of keep with the campy level. We might get serious every now and then, but it's not going to be like, holy crap, we're getting into the war, because based off what the first episode showed me was the Resistance is a thing, the New Republic is a thing, but the First Order is a mystery, and nobody knows that they actually exist.
This takes place between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens.
It takes place, 6 months before Episode 7, so so we don't. So the First Order so far, the only thing we've seen is a guy in a red TIE fighter, which I wanted so badly. I also want the blue. X-wing. Oh my god, they're so beautiful. I want them. But no, it's really good. Like me and my friends were watching, we were laughing, we were having a great time with it.
Good.
So I'm intrigued to see where it goes.
Yeah. Right on.
So also I've learned that my fiance is definitely the main character, Kaz.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
It's definitely him. In a nutshell. Any RPG game we played, that is him. That is his character.
All right. All right.
Nice.
Love you, babe. Anyway, that's then the last thing I have is, so this December during Freeform, which is the old ABC Family, they do the 25 Days of Christmas.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Where they show like Christmas movies leading from a certain point in November, leading all the way up to Christmas.
It's literally the first 25 days of December.
Yeah, I think they might be extending it this year to start on November 1st.
Then it's not the 25 days of Christmas; it's the 55 days of Christmas.
I don't know. I haven't heard the confirmation just yet. I just know this might be the thing because it's no longer the 13 days of Halloween. It's the 31 days of Halloween.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
So they're extending all their holiday stuff.
Okay.
But anyway, they just announced that during this time they're going to be premiering Life Size Me 2.
What is that?
Wait, that was the '90s remake of Mannequin, right? Where is it Tyra Banks?
Tyra Banks and
Tyra
Lindsay
Banks
Lohan.
Tyra Banks is a mannequin that comes to life, or like a my-sized Barbie that comes to life or something.
Yeah, she's like a Barbie doll, kind of like she's a Barbie doll pretty much that Lindsay Lohan had in her room as like a gift from somebody.
This isn't a horror movie?
No,
it's a young Lindsay Lohan.
It's young Lindsay Lohan,
pre-parent or like around Parent Trap era.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is like the second movie
Herbie
she did.
era?
No, before that.
Before that? Okay.
Before,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know the chronology of
Okay.
her career.
Yeah,
so
but
sorry.
this is like a late '90s, early aughts thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Before Lindsay Lohan was Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Lohan,
Pretty much
however.
what the premise of Life Size Me is that her mom dies and she thinks she can contact her mom and bring her back with voodoo stuff because kids into mysteries and shit.
Because it was the '90s, and being politically incorrect like that was totally okay.
That
See,
too.
That sounded to me like that plot. You remember that movie in the 80s? What was it, like The White Lady or something like that, where the kid is talking to his dead somebody and thinks he can resurrect him and gets trapped at the school and sees a ghost?
I don't know that one.
Like
no.
The Lady in White or something like that?
Oh, hey, you know what? Okay, so Life Size was Child's Play if it wasn't a horror movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Lindsay Lohan is Andy and makes a wish that her toy comes to life, and then it does, and they have magical adventures.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, though, she doesn't wish for her toy to come to life. She wishes for her mom to come back to life, and then her dad takes the hairbrush. No, not her dad. Her dad's like girlfriend takes the hairbrush and brushes the new Barbie doll with the with the hairbrush that has her mom's hair still on it, and she ends up making the doll come to life. And then they go on crazy fun adventures, and it's weird. And it was very much like a
Sounds like
Disney.
something to be fun for little girls.
Yes.
Or
Yes.
little boys.
Yeah, I
But
mean, yeah,
little kids either way.
It is a kid. It is absolutely a kids movie.
Yes.
Aimed at kids.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Good
the fact
deal.
that they're making a sequel, 28 years later.
Hey, well, Tyra Banks is coming
Well,
back as the doll, so
I mean, they're
Okay.
making a sequel to Hocus Pocus, so
but people remember Hocus Pocus.
that's true.
you both just remembered this movie.
I
so-
literally only know Life Size because I worked at Blockbuster when it came out on tape.
Okay.
When
And
it came
I-
out on tape.
I know
That's
it-
how long ago this was.
Okay.
And I know it because there were like a set of like movies in the 90s, early 2000s that came out onto Disney Channel, like during like their Disney Channel original movies, and that was one of them that would play.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just remember being among the bunch, and I remember enjoying it, but not being completely like, oh yeah, this was a great film. I'm just like, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I probably maybe need to go rewatch
So
it. But
even their
fair
target
enough.
audience was, it's okay.
Well,
Okay.
Yeah.
I also I may have played with Barbies, but I was also the kid that was building with Legos.
Yeah.
So
Fair enough.
anyway, that's all I got. That's it.
All right. Well, I got quite a few things here. We'll start with the stuff I'm not going to rant about.
Sure. Yeah.
Start from the top, and now we're
We
here.
got some decent TV news. Daredevil season 3 is out on Netflix right now.
Nice.
It's really
That was
good.
fast.
I haven't
Okay.
finished it all yet. I'm only a few episodes in, so I don't have an official review or anything like that. But so far, enjoying it. Like it a little bit more
Nice.
than the last season.
I
So
gotta be honest, dude. I only watched the first episode of season 2, and that season ends with Punisher shooting Daredevil and Daredevil falling off a roof.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, Daredevil died. The end.
yeah.
I haven't picked it back
Yeah.
up since.
And then let's see here. Also having to do with that entire Marvel Netflix universe,
Yeah.
we had an announcement this week that Iron Fist is canceled. They're not going to be
Wah,
renewing it for
wah.
another season.
I
And in the same announcement, they say that they are greenlighting season 3 of Luke Cage. So I'm wondering if maybe we'll get a little bit of Heroes for Hire, Iron Fist, and
Power Man and Iron Fist.
Maybe
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with that.
So you know what's funny about
or
that?
they could just say forget it.
What's funny about that is that that's exactly what happened in the comics. Is that Iron Fist both Iron Fist and Power Man were selling so poorly, and people just weren't interested in I mean, the kung fu exploitation and the blaxploitation movements were kind of over in cinema, and Iron Fist is absolutely based on the kung fu craze of the 70s, and Power Man was absolutely a blaxploitation film as a comic. And Iron Fist was selling so badly that they canceled it and stuck him in Luke Cage's book. And that's when it became Power Man and Iron Fist. So if that's exactly what they're doing for the Netflix series, that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I would be okay with it.
Yeah, and if they're not, I got to be honest, I'm not too surprised that Iron Fist isn't going past the season 2.
See, and the
Yeah.
season 2 was so good compared to season 1.
Sure.
I thought for sure it was gonna. I don't know.
Right, but
I got no explanation for it because that second season was so good compared to the first one. And
Sure.
so much better than the second season of Jessica Jones.
listen. I'm not gonna. I haven't watched season 2 of Iron Fist, and I haven't even
neither.
watched all of season 1 of Iron Fist. But here's the
neither.
thing: I haven't watched all of season 1 of Iron Fist.
Fair enough. Fair
Right? If I'm not going to get through season 1, I'm probably not going to
Season
watch
1 was a
season
little
2.
hard to get through. Like there were some
Right.
really questionable choices
Sure.
with the choreography in that
Right.
season and
So-
some of the narrative choices.
But
so.
I think that's why season 3 isn't happening.
Yeah,
Because if
it's
people
possible.
aren't finishing season 1,
Yeah.
why are they going to watch season 2?
Yeah.
Right? Hey, season 2's better. Cool. I still got to slog through 13 hours of the first one
Yeah.
to
Yeah,
get
it's
to the
true.
good stuff. Like 13 hours is a lot of time.
Yeah.
It is.
This is true. This
Right?
is very
I
true.
could I could ride to work 13 times in the amount of time it would take me to watch Iron Fist. That's an entire week's
enough,
worth of
man.
trips to and from work.
Fair enough.
So,
Fair enough. Fair
yeah.
enough. But for fans of it, unfortunately, it's not coming back.
Yeah.
But we'll see what
Yeah.
happens with it. Luke Cage season 3. Some other big streaming information that came out was Crunchyroll. If you have Crunchyroll, double check your subscription because I think it's on the 9th of next month. Funimation is no longer going to be partnered with them.
No.
So there's a couple shows that they're going to finish off on it, like My Hero Academia.
Yeah, they better.
Sure. Okay.
That's going to get finished off with it, but for the most part, anything Funimation is no longer going to be on Crunchyroll.
Which is like 90% of
Which-
American anime.
So
Yeah.
I also saw this article too, and what else it said was I was supposed to write this down, but I completely forgot about it too. Thankfully, you had it. Was that Funimation is pulling it off their site so that way they can just do it on their own,
They've always had their own streaming.
but it's always been like, oh, you have to pay for it.
I don't know. The one I've had on Xbox, there wasn't anything to pay for. There was limited stuff if you didn't pay, but
Yeah.
there was still stuff on there. Like you weren't getting brand new episodes of things, but you had all the previous seasons and stuff you could choose
I'll do
from,
it the way
so.
I do it, and that's either if it's on YouTube I'll watch or I'll go yarg.
Yeah,
So-
I think this might have been some fallout over the decision Crunchyroll made. Like they had announced a while back that they were going to be funding new anime and stuff like that, and they alluded to the fact that it was going to be funding new Japanese anime.
Oh, okay.
And they greenlit a show that's more or less a Cal Art style show.
You mean the smiling potato style?
Yeah.
I hate the phrase Cal. One dude from Cal Arts ever drew that way. And
Well,
that's become the
it's
term
stuck.
people are
It's
using.
stuck, yeah.
And that sucks because there's a lot of really good Cal Arts students that are
Right.
animators now, and
And-
it's like that
Yeah.
we don't draw like that.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah.
there's so many people that do draw like that it's
There's
a name
like-
that's stuck.
There's
Yeah.
one dude and a bunch of idiots on the internet stuck it. I like the name Smiling Potato. I'm going to keep using
Yeah,
that.
that works
Smiling
too.
potato.
They all look
But,
more like smiling potatoes than
the
a school.
chowder style,
Yeah.
however you want
Yeah.
to term it, but
I also like the chowder style,
it's that
too.
kind of animation, and a lot of people on the internet got very upset because they were
Because
expecting more, funding
traditional
for
anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of the animators and stuff in Japan got upset by it too because they thought that they were having this partnership that they were going to be getting more stuff put out. So
Right.
there's a little bit of blowback for that, and I don't know for sure. Don't quote me on it, but I'm wondering if some of that might not be blowback from that because I know some of the people that were upset were tied to Funimation. So
Yeah.
you never
Yeah.
know.
Well-
It could just also be Funimation going like, hey, you know what? We'd rather just make money on our own.
I think
gotta
it's
be
I think
honest.
it's probably more that than anything. Because the only time people ever really go to Funimation for stuff now is like, oh hey, I want to order this.
Yeah.
And not really like, or when is this next season coming out? And less of, oh, hey, I can actually watch it on your site too.
Yeah, so there is that. So Crunchyroll subscribers, if you're on there, you might want to double check because if you're a big fan of Funimation stuff, you're going to be losing a lot of it. So
Yeah.
Yes, there's so much.
Yeah.
it just
which, by the
just
way-
a thought. So if you're paying for a monthly subscription on that,
yeah, just start paying for Funimation instead.
yeah, there you go.
Which, by the way, don't actually pirate anything, guys. It's illegal.
No,
Do not
yeah.
do it.
No.
If you do find legal ways to watch the things you can watch, do those.
Yes.
I recommend that more so than being a pirate. When I said yarg earlier, I was joking. It was more just
Okay, I was trying to figure out where the piracy thing
Yeah.
came from. I was like
yeah.
that.
Because I went yarg. That's
All
it.
right.
We
So-
do not condone illegal activities.
We do not. No.
No.
So.
Whether or not we partake in them on personal time is another matter entirely, but we do not officially condone them.
No. Someone who does condone illegal activities, though, is Lex Luthor. And they announced this week that's bringing him to the Arrowverse.
That was
That's the best segue we've had.
well, better than the Deadpool and the vacuum cleaner.
Equal ground.
Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, so they haven't announced they're doing the casting. They haven't said who it's going to be yet. My heartstrings still hope that they'll somehow talk Michael Rosenbaum into
Yes,
doing it.
I
yes.
saw that a lot of people want
yes.
that.
Yeah.
I don't
Yes,
think I
yes,
do,
yes.
but that's fine.
I like him better than.
I don't think he will because he keeps saying he's like I'm not shaving my head again. I don't like. He's very adamant
Bald
about not
cap.
shaving his head again.
Wear a bald
So,
cap.
Well, yeah, but he's got a lot of hair.
Oh,
That was the
true.
problem in,
Yeah, that would be
in
like
Smallville.
me
is
wearing a
that
bald cap.
They tried this bald cap thing, and it looked ridiculous. So
It
was
explains a
like
couple
you
of
have to shave your
episodes.
head. So there's that. We'll see, which is interesting because now we got Lois Lane coming into the Arrowverse. We got Lex Luthor. Some other stuff that they showed this week for the Arrowverse stuff with this big Elseworlds crossover they're doing is Superman in the black suit.
Ooh.
So we're getting that. Part of it is they showed another teaser that it's swapped roles where you've got Barry Allen as the Green Arrow and Oliver Queen as the Flash.
What?
All right.
Yeah, so it's they are fully embracing the Elseworlds from DC.
Yeah,
I'm loving it.
yeah.
I can't wait to see what else they're going to do with it.
Yeah, that could be
So
fun.
it could be a lot of fun. And if you're a fan of those shows, if you didn't know, they have come back. The new episodes are airing. We had
cool.
the season premieres for a couple of them over this last week and the
I
week
actually,
before.
yeah, I did see that. I want to say it was comicbook.com noted that the Sunday, I guess Supergirl switched to Sundays, and its first week ratings were actually really good.
Yeah.
So,
That's good.
So,
Yeah.
but all those shows are coming back, and they're all hitting a good stride. Some really good story points on there. I think the Flash is kind of stealing a little bit with the stories that they're doing, bringing in Dawn Allen and everything from the future. And
Okay.
Ooh,
So then
cool.
that's XS. For those who don't know, XS is one of Barry Allen's kid, who was one of the Tornado twins.
Oh, okay.
goes into a long, convoluted storyline.
So more speedsters
yes,
on the Flash.
More speedsters.
Okay.
More speedsters. And there's a new villain this season that's not a speedster, so that's nice.
Okay. Thank you.
But so those shows are starting to pick up a little bit, and they're all new. So
Nice.
check
Okay,
that
cool.
The Flash is starting to pick up.
Yep. We got some
little
video
slow.
game information. This is actually a pretty important thing for anybody who's a PlayStation 4 user.
Okay.
There was this week revealed that there is an exploit, a message exploit that can actually brick your PS4.
What?
So yeah, it's a message that can get sent to your PS4 that's got some extra characters on there that apparently their chat system can't work with.
Okay.
That it ends up just causing a memory fault in your system and completely breaks it.
Well, geez,
there's
thanks.
a workaround that sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. But for those of you that are on PS4, until they have an official patch, they said they've got a fix for it, but I wasn't able to find actually anything if it had come through, if the update had actually been pushed out to people's PlayStations or not. So just make sure you set your messages to private for a couple weeks until you see the official, hey, this is fixed. Because you don't want your PlayStation getting bricked.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is the code at open bracket equals G3, comma 8D
No.
/ ampersand FBB equals minus Q
No,
close
that's not
bracket
it.
/ HK percent
It's
FG
fairly simple. What it has to do, there's
and
it's
then
a
press
couple,
delete?
No, it's there's I don't want to say it
four
just so that people
freakazoids out
don't
there are gonna
try to
get that
start
joke.
sending it to everybody. I can't remember the first word for it, and I'm glad I don't because again I don't want to mention it. But then it has a little question mark, the little one in the diamond,
Okay.
and a heart after it.
Okay.
And apparently something with those two icons being included in a certain number of after a certain number of letters
Okay.
messes with the memory in the PlayStation somehow. Like
Terrible.
it's a very I'm not a technical guy. It was a long
Sure.
technical explanation for all of it. That was the gist that I got from it.
Okay.
But yeah, just if you set your messages to private for right now, not going to be the end of the world. You know, you're not going to be trash talked on Call of Duty for a little while.
Hey.
So bonus for you. But yeah, just definitely make sure you set your messages to private on PS4 right now, just so that you do not get that.
So glad I bought a Switch.
I've got a
And
PS2.
then, speaking of PS4, nice. Actually, there was something else that brought into my mind. There's a company that actually announced it's available for pre-order right now. It's a HDMI converter for PS1 and PS2.
Whoa.
I am intrigued.
Yes, so it'll actually plug straight into the back of your PS1 or PS2, your original one. It'll plug
Yeah.
straight in the back, and then it converts it to HDMI, and you can plug an HDMI cable right into
That
it.
looks so much cleaner
So-
than the three things.
Yes.
I can't remember
So
the names.
for those people that are going like, man, what are they going to include on the PlayStation Classic? I got all these old games that they're probably not going to include because they're so hard to find.
Right.
Well, it doesn't matter now. You can get this. It's about $40. You can get
Okay.
this converter that's going to actually convert everything to
So
HDMI.
it's like an
so-
RCA to HDMI upscale?
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
But this one actually you don't have to worry about having all your extra cables because it plugs
Right.
straight into the back of your PlayStation.
Hey, Mom, I know I
It's
want
actually
for
got the
Christmas now.
PlayStation. It's got the PlayStation plug on the back of it.
Okay.
So it's not one of
Nice.
those where like, okay, I have to plug the all green, blue thing.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Nope.
Oh, it's so-
plug in your PlayStation, plug in HDMI. You're
Thank
good.
you,
Nice.
Sony.
So it's got like a 6-foot cord, so it's
Okay, so it'll
got
fit
decent
most
length and
entertainment
everything.
centers. Yeah.
So if you have a tiny HDMI, you can still use it. It should work out.
I've got my HD TV and my old PS2 is RCA cabled right in. And
Yeah.
it's like, I mean, it works, but it's fuzzy
Yeah,
as
I was
hell.
trying to play some of my old PS1 games recently, and
Yeah.
it's just like squinting at it, like, oh, okay, that's what that says
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
Oh, this would be so nice. Thank you,
yeah,
Sony.
I'm looking forward to it. I
Yeah.
really want to go back and play like the Arc the Lad series again.
Sure.
Things like that. And so I'm definitely picking one of those up as
I'm
soon as they
hitting
come out.
burnout.
I want someone to make one of those for the Saturn now.
But I got sidetracked. PS4 information.
Yeah.
This actually goes for PS4 and Xbox, but they revealed the install sizes of Red Dead Redemption 2, which is coming out next week.
And how big is it?
It's big enough. You better make some room on your system or buy an external hard drive because the digital copy for PS4 is 150 gigabytes.
Okay, listen.
The physical copy is 100 gigabyte install.
I'm going to take a stance on here, and this is my opinion. This is not the opinion of my co-host. This is not the opinion of Atomic Monsoon. This is not the opinion of Voice America. Don't buy Red Dead Redemption 2. Don't let Rockstar get away with this. That's crap.
To be fair, there are other games that have 100 gigabyte install sizes.
Cool. Don't buy those either.
But it's
Like, that's-
it's ones
that's
that were
unacceptable.
upscaled for like 4K like nonsense and things like that, or games like Halo 5 has 100 gigabyte install size, but that's because of all the user map stuff and the additional things to create your own levels and things like that.
Cool. If it can't fit on the disc, don't release it. If it's not going to be on the disc, if you're not publishing it on the disc, then push the game back. Right, like
because this is pre-DLC. Now, if this was like Red Dead Redemption 2,
if this was
the
Red Dead
Game of the Year edition
sure.
with a bunch of install,
bunch of extra DLC, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how bad this is. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5, which came out in like 2015, right? That game is so broken. The only thing on the disc, if you were to get through not installing anything, the only thing on the disc is the tutorial.
Yeah.
Because they mucked up the release of that game so bad that you're literally downloading the entire game, even if you buy a physical copy.
Do you wonder if maybe this is the reason why Kingdom Hearts has taken so long? Part a reason.
Possibly, but I don't care.
Okay.
I don't think Kingdom Hearts is ever coming out, honestly. I think that I think it's not coming out ever.
I think part of the problem we have with these is that the Blu-rays aren't able to hold all the information they need to.
Cool. Then you better learn how to make a smaller game.
Well, and that's why they need to make which is another rumor that's going around, is that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be coming on multiple discs.
I would much rather have multiple discs than
the current systems require install.
Which means you have to install every single disc.
Yeah.
Well,
they don't run from the disc, they run from your hard drive. CD is more or less just used as yes, you have the CD, okay, you're allowed to play this.
I like the old days where you know, even like when you play like computer games, if you had like a game, like for the one I had growing up as a kid, like the game I had was Riven, the sequel to Myst. That game had 4 discs to it. You had to install every single disc before you could play that game, because every time you went to a different island, each island was on a certain disc of the game.
Yeah.
Right, but
it made sense to do it that way, because...
But you weren't installing the game from the disc, were you? You were just playing it from the disc, and you had to swap discs.
No, you actually install.
Yeah, it was still installed.
Okay.
It's just home consoles are starting to go the PC route, where you have to install the full game and everything else.
At that point, why are you buying a home console?
Yeah. Well,
the thing is, you still have to play with the disc, though, even after you install it.
If it's a 100 gigabyte download, you might as well just buy the PC version.
Well, and this also goes to, is this just how the video game industry is going to work now, because of the size of games and everything else that they're going through? It's an interesting...
Be glad you have a Switch, sir.
I am very glad. Yeah, I'm out. I'm just done. F you, Rockstar. Like, I don't care. Like, that's unacceptable.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't happy about it. Like, I know I was talking to one of our other coworkers, and he's trying to figure out how he can free up enough room on his PlayStation to even install it.
Yeah, like, I'm sorry, but nobody buys a console for one game, and I'm not gonna go out and buy another $60 hard drive to play your $60 game.
Yeah.
Right? And then if I get your whatever collector's edition, it's probably $100, and now I'm spending $150 for one game.
Yeah.
I might as well just buy a fucking arcade machine at that point. You know, like, that's stupid. That is stupid, and Rockstar should be ashamed of themselves. That's my stance.
And my stance is we should all play retro games.
Yeah.
And my stance is I'm excited about the Orange Box update on Xbox.
What happened with the Orange Box?
What
happened with the Orange Box?
They gave it a 4K update on Xbox, so that way now you can play the old school, good old fun classic, Portal. You got Team Fortress 2 and the always classic Half-Life 2.
Which is also never getting a sequel.
No, never, ever getting a sequel. But you can play it at a higher frame rate now, and a little bit slightly better graphics, a little bit better frame rate and everything for
What's the download size on that?
I think it was like a gig.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like maybe 1.2 gigs. The update popped up on my thing the other day. It wasn't enough to make me comment on it.
So 3 games. 1 gig.
Yeah.
Okay.
But these are much older games, much lower fidelity,
I'm just saying,
stuff like that.
There are still people playing Team Fortress.
Most of the games that, it's like Backcountry 2.
They love hats.
Well, I don't think they have all the hats in the Xbox version.
Whatever.
But like the Backcountry 2 update that came out a while ago for the upscale on Xbox was about a gig.
Yeah.
Same with the Battlefield 3 one. A few of those, a lot of these ones where they're upscaling it for the, just to give you a higher resolution, better frame rate.
Right.
It's about a gig of information.
Sure.
So.
But when you said Orange Box, for some reason, my brain went in the 90s kids direction of, so I can watch all my Rugrats movies and Nickelodeon movies on there? My VHSs?
Actually, you probably can. They probably have, no, not VHSs. It looks like a VCR, but it doesn't play tapes.
It's just the orange VCR to go with your orange Nickelodeon VCR
right. All
tapes.
the Nickelodeon tapes were that bright Nickelodeon orange.
Yeah.
The cassettes were,
that's where my mind went.
Yeah, again, the memories of working a Blockbuster Video.
Now, we're limited time, and we wanted to tell a couple of fun Halloween stories, so I'll try not to rant too much about this, but DC Comics, man, what the heck are you thinking right now? Good Lord. For those who don't know, they, for some reason, don't like Robins in the DC hierarchy.
Well, we already have Batman. What do we need a Robin for?
Yeah, they
Let alone 4.
for whatever reason. And then Dick Grayson especially, they've just been doing
Poor
whatever they
Dick.
can to make him terrible, and he's no longer Dick Grayson.
What is his name now?
Rick Grayson.
Why?
R-I-C.
Now,
Grayson.
why is his name Rick Grayson? I know
Because
why,
apparently
but-
when you get shot in the head and recover, you want to change your name to Rick.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, based off what I was hearing, it's like he almost is now taking up the personality of Jason Todd.
Well, and that's something else, is everybody's got to be edgy as well. It's Dick Grayson's always been
You've
like
already
that.
got Batman.
Well, and Dick Grayson's kind of been the moral compass for the DC universe. Like,
really
he's
has
that
been.
incorruptible force. He's that all around, like, no matter what, he's going to do the right thing, and
Yeah.
he's the person that you want on your side because he's
And in canon, he smells nice.
yes,
Well,
that too.
I hope so.
No, it's canonical.
and-
Dick Grayson naturally smells nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's canon.
And
yeah.
I mean, Dick Grayson was the reason that the universe was saved several times.
Right.
I mean, there was even a point where one of the Supermen from an alternate universe decided to not destroy the universe because Batman turned to him and said, "Well, if we're all so terrible, how do you explain Dick Grayson?"
And now he has to be like, how do you explain Rick Grayson?
Yeah. It's just they're making him look like the Robin from Arkham Knight, which was a bad Jerry O'Connell looking type of Tim Drake.
Did you mean to say Chris O'Donnell?
Yes. What did I say?
Jerry O'Connell?
Oh gosh, it's been a long week. What can I
It's
say?
been a very
It's
long
been a
week.
very, very long week. But there's that, and then something I didn't know about until you mentioned it, which
Yeah.
infuriates me a little bit. But maybe they're just using it to bring back one of my favorite characters of all time.
It's
Apparently,
a last page reveal, so,
I'm hoping it's the last page reveal of Connor Kent.
well, we don't know which Kent, but it's Sideways. I want to say number 9? Whatever the most recent issue of Sideways was. Maybe it was 19.
Or maybe Sideways takes place in the past.
So Sideways is part of the guys that came out of the Dark Knight's Metal,
Yeah.
right, from the Dark Universe or whatever, and he's the not Spider-Man in the DC Universe that can teleport, but can only teleport laterally.
It was the New Age of Heroes, and they introduced a bunch
Right.
of stuff that was kind of Marvel-ish. We
Right.
got the Terrifics was the Fantastic
it was
Four.
the stretchy guy, the invisible lady, the
Yeah.
elemental dude, and the hothead.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we basically got the Fantastic Four, which is the Terrifics, which is actually a really good comic. I've really been enjoying that one. We got Sideways. We got
Is it Damage? Was
Damage,
not
which-
the Hulk?
Not the Hulk, but it's the Hulk.
Right. And then what was the lady that was not the Punisher?
Silencer.
Yeah.
Silencer.
Yeah. Drawn by
Nice.
John Romita Jr., so it just looks like his Run and Punisher Warzone.
It looks exactly. It is Punisher Warzone,
Yeah.
but with a female lead in
Yeah.
DC Comics.
Yeah.
And it's a good book. I like
Sure,
it.
right.
It's a good book.
I haven't read it, but I was
Yeah.
like, oh, it's the Punisher. I still don't care.
Really, Sideways is the only one of the New Age of Heroes ones that I'm kind of
Okay.
whatever. Like,
Yeah.
It's not bad. It's just
Sure.
not
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 your
my
cup of
thing.
tea.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I love the Terrifics. I love Damage, and I love Silencer. They're
Okay.
3 good books.
Yeah.
But yeah, so last page reveal, News 52 looking Superman.
The new 52 Superman, just in the t-shirt and jeans and brown boots. And
Yeah, which doesn't make
Yeah.
any sense because, and
No,
here's
'cause
a little bit of a rant. He
'Cause he
the new
merged with the
52
other-
Superman wasn't really Superman. He was part of a callback to old when they were trying to fix the universe. They called back to the 90s, the Superman Red and Blue, when Superman was reduced to just pure energy.
Right.
And so Dr. Manhattan basically split Superman again.
Right.
And the new 52 Superman was part of that energy, and then they
Right.
were re-merged back in to fix our timeline, and they became back to
That's what the
original
Superman Reborn storyline was about. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so Superman was back to being Superman. So how
Right.
can the new 52 Superman be back?
Don't know.
So it might be
Well,
Connor.
I mean,
Looks-
I'm hoping it's Connor. I'm hoping, but it's probably not. It's probably maybe it'll be the Eradicator. Maybe they're bringing
Maybe
him back.
it's Mr. and Mrs. Plick. Mrs. Piddlick mix blah,
Maybe
blah, blah, blah.
that's a good possibility.
I am
Could be
Mrs.
Mr.
Nesbit.
Mixelpidlick. Mr. Mixelpidlick, sorry.
I just killed Andy.
He's done. Oh, we got a snort. It's over.
I make one Toy Story reference and I kill him.
But yeah, I don't know what is going on over there. I'm so confused.
Hey, you know what they're doing? They're telling stories that are making us talk about the comics.
This is
Yep.
true.
And you have to go read the next issue to find out what the
This
hell's
is true.
going on.
Yep.
I suppose
Right.
in one way they're doing their job.
They are
in the other
exactly
way,
doing their
they're
job.
infuriating the fan base.
Yeah.
So.
Here's the thing about comics is that too many comics fans are way too quick to just get mad about things. Right? Go back and read Golden Age stories. A lot of those end on terrible.
Okay, well, the
reveals,
Golden Age is a
right?
completely different ballgame. Those
I
are
just-
the Golden Age is something else.
I
like
okay,
especially
right,
by
but-
today's standards, when you go back and read the Golden Age,
I mean,
it's
okay,
like,
they're not good, but
what? super ventriloquism.
Right.
What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because literally, Superman got a new power every issue just to whatever's going on. Oh, yeah, he's got super ventriloquism. Yeah, he can super double talk. That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I believe the rule was Superman can the only thing Superman can't do are things he hasn't tried.
Basically.
So yeah.
I mean, that's a good moral for life.
Right. Yeah. No. So I mean, I just look at it as, hey, right. So Sideways is saying, hey, look here, or the writers of Sideways is like, hey, what if we put this Superman that shouldn't exist in the issue, right? Well, now I'm intrigued, and I'm like, well, I haven't been keeping up with Sideways, but now I want to go back and buy the other issues and read this one and see what the hell's going on, right? That's what they should be doing.
Yeah.
Everyone, you should not like. If the comics are just, hey, here's the good guy, and some stuff happens, and they beat the bad guy, that's cool for about 6 stories.
Yeah.
If even that many. And then you just get bored and you stop reading.
Yep.
They have to do
I
things
think
that are
part
going
of
to catch your attention.
The thing, especially right now at DC, is that they did so much to right the ship with Rebirth.
Sure, right.
That people go like, no.
Yeah.
Why? This was a bad mistake. You fixed
They
it. Why?
had a
Why?
year and a half where they were doing about a year and a half where they're doing a really good job. And then Metal and what's the Watchmen one called? Doomsday Clock happened at
Clock.
the same time. And it was
Yeah.
like, oh, so we got to actually just tell stories for a year and a half. And then suddenly we had 2 events going on at the same time, one of which is still going on
Yeah.
and is super delayed.
Yeah.
And
But it's good.
The other one, I haven't read it because I said when Doomsday Clock was announced, I was like, wait, Jeff Johns and Gary Frank?
Mm-hmm.
I was like, that book's going to take forever to come out. I'm waiting until the hardcover.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for
It
the
is
collection on
taking
that
forever,
one.
but
and, yeah,
man, the artwork and the story is
Oh,
so
right.
good. It's just
No,
it's
right.
one of those going like, I gotta wait 2 more months for the next part. Come on.
Yeah. That's why I said I was going to wait. So I don't know.
So anyway,
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
I think we should wait and find out what happens before jumping the gun and just
I just for with the
Don't
track
write-
record of old Didio.
sure. Just don't write the worst version of it in your brain before you read the actual story.
That is a good
Yep.
idea. Yeah,
Right.
So-
it's always one of those like speculative. It's like I'm kind of like maybe it'll be the Eradicator. That'd be cool. We haven't
Sure.
seen the Eradicator since
Right.
the Rebirth stuff and
Yeah.
healed timeline. So
Yeah.
that'd be fun. And they're doing a lot with Cyborg, Superman, and everything with bringing back Connor Kent at some point soon because
Right.
Young Justice is coming.
Right.
It'd be the perfect time to reintroduce the Eradicator to
Sure.
this universe.
Yeah.
So,
So-
it could be something like that. It could be maybe it'll be Connor, which again would be fantastic. So
So-
we'll see what they do with it. And
Yeah.
there's tons of, like you said, it could be Mr. Mxyzptlk. It could
Right.
be all kinds of different things. So, but it still was one of those like, come on, guys, what is
Really?
going on here? Like, don't retread
All right,
old information.
shall we move on to some Halloween stories? Since it is
Yeah.
October after all, we should be telling some fun Halloween stories. No, don't worry. These are actually going to scare you into, hide under your bed and everything.
I mean, one of mine might.
One of them might, but these are pretty much, we were talking the other day and we're like, you know what would be fun to tell Halloween, like trick-or-treating stories,
Yeah.
things like that kind of happen in our lives and childhood where it's like, this would be kind of fun to talk about since, Halloween's happening. And literally after what Josh just said, that's it. And there's still
Yeah.
time in the show.
Yeah.
So
Hey, can I start? I have a first one that goes really well
I
off
mean,
of
if you
this
guys want
last
to talk
story.
about, I can
Sure,
rant
sure.
about Superman for hours.
No,
Sure.
right. I know that, but we'll do another episode about that. So probably a decade ago now, I decided that I wanted my costume. I wanted to go Superman for Halloween.
Okay.
But I didn't just want to go as Superman.
Okay.
And this is before the New 52.
How old were you?
Oh, I was 20s.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And I was like, I want to go Superman, but I don't want to wear a bunch of tights. Also, I'm not in the most fit of shape. I don't look like Superman. So I thought, what if I went as a little kid dressed as Superman? So my costume was, I was a 6-year-old dressed as Superman. I wore a Superman t-shirt from Walmart. I wore a red towel around my neck. I had a pair of jeans, and I got a red pair of briefs, and I wore those over the jeans.
Nice.
And I just walked around in my underpants outside my pants all night.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That was
That's
a lot
a
of fun.
good one.
And so,
Yeah, most of my Halloween stories aren't appropriate. Even for public consumption.
Right, you spent a
So-
lot of time working in the adult industry,
Yeah,
right?
and then I, had a lot of incidents that happened when I was younger that, car accidents, things like that happened
Oh,
on Halloween and
jeez.
didn't go out
Yeah.
for a long time for Halloween. But
Okay.
I have one really good fun memory of Halloween from being a kid.
Okay.
There was one year I got this amazing costume. It was from a friend of the family. It was an Ewok costume.
Ooh.
It was a full it was amazingly well done. Like it looked movie quality Ewok.
Nice.
And got to do that and go around trick or treating.
Yeah.
And it was your kid going out and stuff. And one of the houses gave me a glow stick was our trick or treat thing. Just giving a little, didn't do candy, they did glow sticks. Which,
Sure.
Fun, totally fun.
Yeah.
For some reason, when we were walking around, I decided, this might be kind of fun to just hold it inside my mask, and that way the inside of the mask is glowing and stuff. It might be. And,
oh no.
So I did nothing thinking about it. I'm holding it in my mouth and going around trick or treating and stuff like that. And just a little while later, just like, what? Why is my tongue numb?
Oh no!
And I take off the mask to pull this the glow stick out, and just all down the front of my face.
Oh no!
Completely. I had just glow stick everywhere, all inside the front of the mask and everything. Just glow stick. I glowed for several days afterwards.
I'm surprised you didn't die.
No, well, I mean, it was the 80s.
Oh, okay.
Who knows what was in it?
Nobody died in the 80s.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, our water was toxic everywhere. I mean, we weren't getting anything worse out of the glow stick.
enough.
So, I mean, we were drinking fluoride at school every day, so who cares?
Everybody's smoking. The teachers are smoking.
Yeah, I mean,
the parents are smoking.
I mean, yeah.
So...
It was so. I was a glow in the dark beacon for the next few days after that. It was quite fun.
Nice. Okay. So I'm gonna kind of keep on the superhero thing. So
Yeah.
So during my junior year of high school, I know I still had some friends that were kind of down for trick or treating, because the nice thing about the neighborhood that I grew up in, where I did most of my trick or treating and Halloweens, was that a lot of even the junior high and high school kids still walk around. Even if they're kind of the last bunch, some of them will walk around and be kind of be little jerks about it, and steal the house that has the bowl that says "Please take one piece," and they'll take the whole bowl, but leave the bowl behind. Sometimes I'd actually take the bowl, and parents would be pissed. But
I don't know any kids that would take the entire bowl of candy. I certainly wasn't one of them ever.
But so me and my group of friends, we decided to walk around because we did have younger siblings who wanted to go trick or treating, and we were just gonna kind of watch them, and if we got some candy too, that's cool. So I decided I was going to dress up like Green Arrow, because this is when Arrow first premiered.
Okay.
All right.
And I was like, I want to dress like Green Arrow because I loved Artemis and Young Justice. I loved Green Arrow in Smallville, and I loved Green Arrow for what I saw of the first 2 episodes of Arrow. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'm going to do a closet cosplay of Green Arrow, and I pretty much went out. I bought a green hoodie. Mm-hmm. I wore a pair of black pants. I handmade from pretty much a set of crafting wood board pieces,
Okay.
Fabric, and a kid's superhero discount costume that you buy in the party aisle. Mm-hmm. Made a mask, a bow and arrow, and a quiver.
Nice.
Right.
That's
I
awesome.
made all that with it, and then I walked around like that for Halloween. And there's a photo of me on Facebook in all this garb. And my two friends and one of their friends standing next to me are all in skimpy dresses.
Oh, they picked the sexy nurse outfits.
Sexy nurse, sexy,
Yeah.
Dorothy, sexy Belle, sexy all that, and I'm standing there, jeans and a sweatshirt, and I'm like, if this does not perfectly describe my fashion sense, I don't know what does.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that works. That works. It's always fun putting those costumes together at the last minute. Mm-hmm. One of my favorites was going to the Goodwill. This was, as an adult, we're just trying to find a costume at the last minute to go to a Halloween party. Mm-hmm. And just going okay, here's a military-style cap, and there's a green shirt. What can I do with this? Mm-hmm. And okay, I'll grab these things, and walking across the party city there's a fake cigar and a mustache. I'm going to be Castro. This will be perfect. El Presidente.
I mean, you could have done what my dad did, and one Halloween he actually literally threw on his MASH 4077 T-shirt. He had the mustache, he had he had glasses, but oh well. And he threw on a Hawaiian shirt over a pair of cargo shorts and flip flops, and he walked around as BJ Honeycutt.
Yeah, perfect.
Nice. It was great.
Speaking of costumes with mustaches, this is a great segue. And green shirts.
Yeah.
There was one year that I wasn't trick-or-treating this year. I was just handing out candy. But I decided to go as Luigi as a Green Lantern. I like this whole meta costume thing. I like doing more. So I went to the party store, Spirit Halloween or whatever, and I got the mustache and hat. And then I had a Green Lantern t-shirt. So I put that on over a long sleeve black shirt, and I got some gardening gloves. So they were bright white like the Green Lantern, but they had kind of the cartoony fingers like the Mario Brothers. I put on a pair of, I think it was black jeans because I wanted to do the Green Lantern thing, and then had the Green Lantern ring. So I was going around handing out candy to kids, talking in a bad Mario Brothers accent all night. And it was fine. It was fun, like whatever. Kids were coming up and they were like, "Oh, it's Luigi, but a Green Lantern. That's weird." And I was like, "I am the protector of the Mushroom Kingdom sector." But the best one was when a kid dressed as Mario came up because he knocked on the door, trick or treat, and I went Mario, and he pointed up at me and goes Luigi.
Oh, that's adorable.
And it was
fantastic.
I gave him extra candy.
Yes.
Oh, you had to.
Yeah. Speaking of giving kids extra candy, I'm gonna just give another story right now.
Go ahead.
I judge kids based on how much effort they put into their costume. If you go out and buy a costume, that's cool, right? I'll give you a couple pieces of candy for that. If you home make it, cool, I'm going to give you a little bit more. But there was one kid one year, and I don't know who the kid was, and I'm going to publicly shame him. So his friends came up, and they had kind of typical store-bought outfits, right? There was the princess and the knight and the dragon and a spaceman and whatever, right? And they were all cool. They were all, okay, they probably went to Walmart, whatever, and spent the $30 and bought their costumes. That's fine. At least they put some effort into it. This kid literally had a flannel shirt, a backwards baseball cap, and a plastic axe that he bought at the dollar store. And I was like, okay, so we got the spaceman and the dinosaur and the knight and okay, what are you, kid? And he goes, I'm like a rapper who kills people.
Okay, I was gonna say, was this little kids? Because he might have just not have had money for a costume.
Like junior high.
Okay, yeah, never mind.
He might not have had money for a costume. That's cool, but you can do better than that, right? Stephanie put together.
You say Paul Bunyan. That's all I have to say. Paul Bunyan.
Yeah, I would have been cool with that. Stephanie put together a Green Arrow costume out of her closet, right?
Yeah. Start singing that. I'm a lumberjack and I'm
right.
okay.
If he had said a lumberjack, I would be like, cool, all right, that's pretty creative. He's like, nah, I'm like a rapper who kills people, and I was like, dude, your costume sucks. Right to his face, right in front of all his friends. In fact, you know what? Everyone else, come back. You're all getting an extra piece of candy, and kid, you get one. He got one because he put in some effort. But he got embarrassed because his effort was stupid.
Fair enough.
There was one Halloween where not one Halloween, but there was a couple Halloweens in a row where I was doing some costumes that were very obscure, that not a lot of people figured out what I was. For the Green Arrow one, at least they were like, oh, you're an archer. Cool.
Robin Hood.
Yeah, Robin. Yeah, that was primarily what I got. And I was like, sure, whatever. But for this one Halloween, for these Halloweens, I decided I wanted to be a little more something specific. So I dressed up as Kate Beckett from the TV show Castle, because I had this old trench coat from one of my Winter Guard seasons that I kept.
Okay.
I had, this nice scarf. I had a pair of, grayish, slack jean pants.
Mm-hmm.
I had a pair of, nice boots that worked with it.
Yeah.
And and then I went to the holiday store and I bought a toy gun, and I bought, a set of the handcuffs that go with the police costume, and I bought the badge and everything. And I walked around as Kate Beckett, and nobody knew who I was.
How long had Castle been on the air?
Only a season. Actually, no, this was probably season 3 of Castle, because I think because my hair was almost matching what she had in the end of season 2.
Okay.
But it was they were in the beginning of season 3. Not a lot of people had been watching it.
Yeah.
So that makes sense there. And it makes sense with the other costume I did, which was a Shadow Hunter from the Mortal Instruments series, or the Infernal Devices, or the Dark Artifacts, depending on which one you read or if you read all of them.
Sure.
But if you don't, but pretty much what a Shadow Hunter is like a demon hunter that dresses in all black with these epic rune tattoos all over them.
Okay.
That they redraw themselves with this awesome, pretty much wand. It's called a steel, but it's pretty much like a wand for those that don't know. And at this time, the books there was only 3 books out total of the Mortal Instruments, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, a lot.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of books out now. So it's now if I went around and did that, people would know exactly what I am. But then I was walking around what are you supposed to be? I'm I'm a demon hunter. Just made it easy on them. I'm a demon hunter.
Yeah.
So.
I went as Jesus one year.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I know this is an audio medium, so it's not a great, but look at me. Right? Yeah, I went as Jesus one year. I got the long hair, I got the beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a white robe, red sash. Nothing super crazy, but...
Nope.
Yeah, I think the most elaborate costume I probably ever had was when I did a zombie Santa Claus.
Oh, that's
nice.
awesome.
I went I made sure to dirty up the suit, and I left it outside in the rain a couple times.
Nice.
And just made it just look really grimy and everything. And we got a big red sack and some of the fake limbs.
Okay.
The Halloween store, and had those poking out through tears and bloodied it up real good and everything.
See, there
and,
you go.
Yeah, it had the patchwork beard and everything on, and just did the full zombie makeup on the face.
Nice. Speaking of, so this is an interesting segue. So my old neighborhood that I used to trick or treat in, there'd be a group of either like junior high or high school kids, depended, that would go around and I even knew people in high school that did this too, that I didn't live in my neighborhood that actually would go out and do this. But there were people that would go around and Christmas carol on Halloween night. so the people are standing there with the candy, they'll ring the doorbell, they'll expect them, to be, kids or trick-or-treaters. No, it's just a group of people singing, deck the halls with boughs of holly, la 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 la. And it's like, what?
That's fantastic.
And one year,
I think I would probably turn around and go grab my fire extinguisher and just start.
Yeah.
well, from what I've heard, is like the people that would
Snowing.
Yeah, from the people I've heard that would do it, it's like they'd either get one of three reactions. Either they would tell people you have the wrong holiday and close the door. They would actually get candy for it, or because it's like, oh, for Halloween you dressed up as Christmas carolers.
A group costume, like that'd be the perfect
exactly
costume.
Or they would just the people pulled their phone out or a recording device of some sort and record them just singing because it was funny, just to say, hey guys, look what happened yesterday.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So, but yeah, no, but it was interesting. I think it's funny that people go and do that.
So this was a group costume that I saw, but not one that I participated in, and I wish I had. There was one year that a buddy and I we didn't have anything going on, so we decided to walk up and down Mill Avenue. And for those of you that don't live in the Phoenix area, Mill Avenue is right outside Arizona State University, so it's where all the college kids are.
Yep.
And if you want to see, I don't know, literally anything on Halloween night, it's a good place to go.
Yeah.
Right.
Go to Mill.
And so I just wore all black in my big black leather trench coat and did some crazy goth makeup, right? Nothing, whatever. Just, hey,
crow.
I'm out. Yeah, it wasn't even the crow. I've done the crow, and I made a little girl cry, and I still feel terrible. It was the first year that I decided not to go trick-or-treating, and I was handing out candy, and I did the crow makeup, and this little girl who was probably 2 or 3 years old, it was probably her first Halloween where she was walking up to the house by herself. She knocks on the door, and she's all excited, and she takes one look at me with my Brandon Lee crow makeup, and starts screaming bloody murder. And I apologized so much to her mother. I was like, I am so sorry. I didn't mean to. Her mom was very understanding. It's like, no, I understand. And I wasn't even anything scary. I was just a dude with white makeup.
White makeup on.
Yeah.
Maybe she has a deep-seated fear of clowns.
Maybe.
That.
Maybe. I don't know.
get that.
Which I can relate to.
Yeah. Am I the only one here not afraid of clowns?
Yep.
Okay. Huh.
I'm not afraid of them anymore.
Okay.
But definitely when I was a kid.
Interesting.
Still am. So.
Okay.
More
All right.
deep-seated hatred than a fear.
That's fair. That's fair. No, I've done the Crow. I've done Sting. I've done.
I will admit, though, as a kid, the only movie I ever saw that gave me a nightmare was Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Watched every other horror movie you could possibly think of every Friday night with my buddies staying up and stuff.
Nothing?
Nope, nothing.
Yeah. And
Killer Clowns from Outer Space, though, man, those cotton candy balls with people in them, that got me. I don't know why. That and the popcorn coming out of the hamper. I distinctly remember the nightmare of the popcorn clown head thing.
Okay, I'm done.
Hey, so we were walking up and down Mill Avenue, and there was these 3 dudes, and they were dressed as food utensils. They had big cardboard outfits that they had cut out and wrapped in tinfoil, and the tinfoil was falling off because they hadn't done a great job. But it was great because they were running up and down the street and doing a call and repeat of, you cannot eat without your fork, without your fork. You cannot eat without your spoon, without your spoon. You cannot eat without your knife, without your knife. You cannot eat without your fork. And just kept going.
Oh my God.
Up and down Mill all night.
That's amazing.
It was so cool.
Dedication. That is dedication.
It was so good.
So
yeah.
I'm just gonna tell one last story because we're almost out of time here. So this is something that I'm totally okay if people think it's funny to go around and scare little kids on Halloween. Fine, sure, whatever. I've seen people that it's like, the kids come to their front door, they'll scare them, and then, say like, wait, kids, come back, don't you want your candy? Sort of thing. Or if the kids aren't scared, and, the ones that remain behind get the candy or whatever. And I also understand if you're walking around the street scaring kids. Totally for it. What I will say is this, and this is a rule I give to anybody on Halloween night. If you want to scare people, do not put their lives in danger.
Oh, no,
Do
yeah.
not.
That's...
Yeah.
Because I have a story where some high school jackhole, because I was like in junior high at this time, some high school jackhole thought it was a good idea to run around in I don't know what kind of mask he was wearing. He and his buddies were running around, but he had a chainsaw. Now, it wasn't like the ones you see at the haunted houses.
Didn't take the chain off?
No, the chain was on and it was running.
Oh, yeah, that's not a good...
And he somehow, me and my friends are walking with my brother and my little cousin, and we're walking along. Somehow my cousin got behind us, just trailed behind us. Now, we were the only ones on this sidewalk. And there are people, churning and walking and are walking in the streets and whatever.
It's trick-or-treating time.
It's trick-or-treating time. So people are moving everywhere, but we were the only ones walking along this path at the time. And we can see a bunch of other people. Well, the 3 high school kids are walking over toward us, and we're just walking a little faster because we're like, nope. And he must have been doing something, and I just didn't notice. And I feel bad for this happening, but I turn around. Next thing I know, he is being surrounded by 3 giant dudes who are all buff and muscular, and one of them's got an active chainsaw. And literally, you should have been more scared of me and my friends because 3 junior high girls are now yelling at you for fudging up and for scaring a child with an active chainsaw.
Yeah, dude. No, listen, it's Halloween. It's going to be spooky. I feel bad about scaring that little girl dressed as a kitten. Right, but don't put someone's life in danger. Yeah. That's terrible.
It takes literally less than 5 minutes to take a chain off of a chainsaw.
It does.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse for that. That's just laziness on that person's part and just being a goober.
Yeah. So
to put it as nicely as I possibly can.
So, and I'm just going to turn this back around with one happier note on Halloween.
Okay.
Just to make it kind of like, that's kind of depressing to end it on. Yeah. One happier note is pretty much there was one house. There was one part of the neighborhood that would have a block party, and it was big and it was massive, and there was a haunted house, and it was amazing, and you could hear the screams from the haunted house anywhere in the neighborhood. And that neighborhood covers 3 square blocks.
See, now that's a good Halloween neighborhood. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. Well, we need to get out of here. We are over time. So I'm Josh.
I'm Stephanie, apparently.
And I am Thor from All the Excitement.
You guys have a good one. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye, guys.